are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Producertech live stream with a very special guest today. We have our good friend Joshua Casper. Welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me, Rob. Do you have any of the the air horn sound effects, or just an applause?
I can.
We really need to invest in things like this. I feel like.
I think you're right.
When I watch live streams and they do the and the full on like crowd applause, I think that's the right move. And while people might think it's campy, I enjoy it, and we need to start implementing it, I believe.
Well, okay, can I do like a hands in the air?
That works.
Wave them around like I just don't care.
Wave them. That's it. Thank you. That's all I needed. Thank you.
Perfect. So, yeah, today's stream is another Producertech intensive stream. So we're going to be introducing Producertech intensive. And we did do that last week for our first stream. But for this one, I thought we'd bring in Josh so we can have a chat about it. You can get to know it a bit better, Josh. And in asking me some questions about it, we can inform the Loopcloud community a bit more as well, because it is a event which is going to be really, or a new course format, which is going to be perfect for a lot of people in the Loopcloud community.
I'm sorry. So what's it called, just to be clear?
So it's Producertech Intensive, and it's called that because it's a new course format, which was brought about to provide something which is a bit more suitable for complete beginners coming into the site. So, normally they come in and they've got to kind of search for their own beginners courses. And although we do provide blog article, posts and bits and pieces on the forum if they're a member to say you should take this course and do that, it's difficult for them otherwise to sort of really have a proper plan that they get guided through and get their, they really sort of walk through the different steps they should take. And
so it's kind of like a boot camp almost, like it's kind of like a start here type of thing.
Exactly.
And then I think that's a good shout, because people will find as they begin to, and this is for obviously just beginners. So as you begin to progress, you will have like an idea of a specific thing you want to do, and that's where tutorial courses or just the random YouTube videos are very, very helpful. But even when no matter what program you're trying to learn, if you don't know the terminology, people are throwing DSP at you and delay and feedback lines and multi-band effects, and you like all of this doesn't make any sense. It's good to know just a sort of start here kind of guide to get into that, and then you can kind of navigate the rest, just having that little bit of knowledge, and then it just grows and grows from there. So that's very, very cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. So where do you want to start? Do you want to ask me some questions, or should I just talk about it? Or
well, I mean, I've got tons of questions. Maybe if you could just give us sort of a brief overview, because there are so many places to start. Even like if you're thinking about Ableton Live, right? Like, do you start on the session page or the arrangement page? Like do you talk about the difference? Like, I want to know kind of where is the beginning for the Producertech, what is it? Intensive, yeah. Courses.
Yeah. So that also brings up a good point as to sort of what do you need for the course? Do you need a certain bit of software? And you don't really actually need anything, or to sign up for anything that you don't have to buy anything. We would recommend that you do a few things. Firstly, everyone who signs up gets an extended free trial on Loopcloud. So I recommend people do that if they're not already a Loopcloud subscriber or Loopcloud user. I also recommend people, sign up to one of the main doors. Ableton Live is the one that we teach most at Producertech, followed by Logic Pro. And both of those have 90-day free trials at the moment. So this was carried on after since the pandemic, basically. They extended that out from 1 month to 3. So it's a perfect time really to sign up, and you get 3 months of free full usage of that software. So I recommend signing up to one of those and coming in with those. And the way that we're actually going to start off the course is to provide people with an overview of music software like that. Now, you would probably be able to do a lot of the course using something like GarageBand, or other free DAWs. So, it's another way to go if you find them a bit intimidating. But honestly, I would say bite the bullet and get Ableton.
Well, another, something that's interesting, Rob, now that you're bringing it up, and I hadn't even thought about this ahead of time, on Plugin Boutique right now, which is obviously kind of my home, if you make any purchase, even including any $1 deals we have there, you actually get 8-track Bitwig this month. Yeah. And it's the full license for 8-track Bitwig, which is pretty much all of Bitwig. You're just limited to 8 tracks. Mm. So that might be a route to go as well, because it's not going to lock at any point. You're just kind of limited to 8 tracks. And then if you do these courses with you'll know at that time if it's time to invest in a full suite license rather than something a little more limited.
Yeah.
But obviously with Loopcloud as well, it's very, very, I think it's a great starter, almost like a DAW at this point. It's so feature rich.
Yeah.
And it's you can jump in and just do so much.
I'm going to be showing that, by the way, in a minute. So the first part of this stream is going to be a chat about what Producertech intensive events are and what they're for, and then afterwards I'm going to do a couple of demos, one on Loopcloud, more detailed one on Loopcloud really, where I show some of the cool features, why it's useful for beginners, but also why you can take it really far. And I wanted to try and get quite far with it, so I prepared a demonstration which shows how you can really quickly get to kind of laying out a little basic arrangement. And also how you can use it to not just sort of pull out, basic loops or pre-made loops, but also create your own little things. They're going to help you sort of piece together quite a cool sounding arrangement without really knowing much about effects and your music software. So we'll be looking at that, and then also a little scalar demo as well. And
well, that's great news, Rob. And I don't know if you knew this, but I've come bearing gifts.
I heard a rumor.
I got to show up representing every stream that I do, and we're actually going to be giving away a copy of Scalar to one lucky winner, and a copy of a full annual subscription to Loopcloud.
Amazing.
So two lucky people are going to win, and the only way we're going to choose a winner is just to be in the chat, be active, and be positive.
Yeah.
Ask questions, answer questions. The answers to, and just overall just be a healthy, positive presence in the chat, and you might win. And we'll announce the winners at the end of this stream. Does that sound good?
Sounds incredible. Thank you so much.
Nice one. So you were telling me you already did one of these Producertech intensives?
No, this is going to be the first one. So so the first one starts in just under 2 weeks now. It's going to be March the 28th. Just to do a few of the headlines. It's a 7-day event. You get 7 days of live sessions with me and also some special guests.
Who are we talking about?
We are talking about, they've now confirmed, Simon Shackleton, one of our tutors, an amazing producer, 25 years of experience, remixed for tons of incredible people, done music for film and TV, including The Matrix and others. He's going to be doing the artist Q&A on Tuesday, so day 2, and then Ellie Dixon, another one of our tutors and rising alt pop star, she is going to be doing the artist Q&A on the Thursday, day 4, with a look at sort of more arranging kind of techniques and looking at her process there, as well as just talking about how she's become so incredibly successful. She's just signed to Decca Records, which is the label that Gregory Porter and Aurora on and people like that. So really amazing artists. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're pretty huge.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the other days will just be with you then, dropping the knowledge.
Exactly, yeah. So the point with them is first to kind of give people a bit of an intro to what they're going to be looking at with the pre-recorded course content. So you also get 7 courses. And this isn't just like a little 20-minute or half-hour tutorial. You get, some of the courses are 5 hours long. So I wouldn't necessarily expect you to ingest the whole thing in a day, but certainly the early courses like the Beats production, I think that one is just an hour or 90 minutes or something. So the idea is that you attend a live session, you have an intro to things, and then you go off and you watch the pre-recorded stuff and you practice those bits over the next 24 hours at whatever time zone you're in or however it works. And then the following day for the live session, you come in and we'll start with a Q&A where you can just ask questions about bits you got stuck on or things like that before we then move on to the next topic and carry on from there.
So how long you planning these live events to be, and when are they going to start, you think?
So the first one, the 28th, which is just under 2 weeks, Monday the 28th of March until 3rd of April, and I'm hoping to do them, one every 2 months, something like that. But yeah, we'll see how we go. So the next one might be towards the end of May. That's kind of what I'm hoping, but it could also be June. We'll see how the schedule works out.
Well, what I meant start time, like what's the start time during the day, like? Oh,
the actual streams. So at the moment we're thinking the live sessions are going to be evening. So, well, I say we're thinking they are going to be, because obviously that probably isn't going to help if I give people a rough guess. But we did discuss it quite a lot to try and work out what the best thing to do was, because in my head initially it was we'll do them in the morning and then people can carry on. But so many people are going to have jobs they're going to have to work around. So we're going to do them 5 p.m. UK time, so that if some of the streams are several hours long, we have a bit of time there. And for most days, you'll be able to do the live session, hopefully, and then following it, you'll have enough time in the evening to keep going, for as late as you like.
Gotcha.
And then the following day. So they're mostly going to be at that time. I was thinking possibly Saturday, Sunday, moving them earlier, which we I'm going to be flexible anyway, so possibly we can do that Saturday, Sunday, just to allow people to be a bit fresher, perhaps, if they're in a similar time zone.
Are you going to set up like a private forum or like a sort of a WhatsApp group or something where you can maybe communicate with people, or are you going to be?
That's a good idea.
That might be a good idea.
I mean, this is a step up for us because we're going to be doing Zoom. So until now, all our live streams have been YouTubes like this, which we do these streams for our membership community every week. Well, it's either a stream or some bonus content of some kind. So this whole thing is sort of a taster of what you get in our membership community, just in a very condensed format. So it's for beginners that want to come in, experience what we're about, and get their, well, we call it from zero to hero, get their knowledge like off to the best start possible in a really short space of time, with a view
best way to do it.
Yeah, with a view to making a track at the end of it, which I'm pretty confident with the program I put together, people are going to be able to do.
Yeah, you might be able to for the next ones maybe stagger the time. I don't know what your plans are for the future, but you could stagger the time so maybe the people on the West Coast of the U.S. could be involved, or I don't know if you're just going to do the intensive for beginners every time, or maybe get into more advanced stuff, or you could even, I imagine once this takes off, you could even do like program specific things like, like Arturia V collection intensive week or something, where you just get in and make amazing patches or something.
Yeah.
I mean, the sky is the limit, it seems like. It's a really solid idea.
Yeah.
So you were saying it's going to be a Zoom call. I'm assuming that means a private Zoom call. So what's the deal with that? It's not open to the public, essentially.
No, exactly. It's going to be like a genuine classroom in a way. So people will be in there. It'll be my first time conducting Zoom classes, but yeah, I imagine it's going to be great because people, if they want to, can actually ask me questions in real time, or just type it into the chat if they don't want to get involved on the camera or audio. So just going to be really nice to have that proper real-time experience with a class. It's going to make it much more rewarding for everyone, I think.
Is there a cap on how many people can join a Zoom meeting?
I don't think so.
So is there a cap on the number of students that can join the Producertech Intensive?
Well, we're going to cap it if we hit 200. And there's still a way to go for that. So, and also we do have some people saying I won't necessarily be able to make all of the live sessions, and we said, well, it'll be better if you could. Obviously, that's going to make it so much more interactive if you can ask questions rather than watch those streams along with the other pre-recorded content, later on. But
you
yeah,
are gonna
archive
it, yeah.
Yeah, everything's gonna be recorded, so we can send it if you miss one or.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. So yeah, what else?
I think I've got a really good understanding of what's going to be happening.
Yeah. We do have a Oh, so I said it. What happens at the end of the week? We have the track.
No, we haven't talked about
we
what
didn't
happens
talk about
at the
that.
end. No.
So, so at the end of the week, actually, let me just lose the background so people can see here. Whoop. Oh yeah, there's our little schedule, which everyone else can see now. It's got the day 1 to day 7 list there. Yeah, so it takes you through basically beats day 1. 2 is sampling focus, so expanding out from producing beats, which is going to be done in a range of ways, from working with audio to MIDI instruments to combination, but mostly beats. The next day we'll sort of start to branch out more to sampling, but using sampling techniques to produce melodies and bass lines and chords. We won't really look at the melodies and chords too much until we get to the next day, where we'll start to look at music theory basics. And once we got all those, you can kind of get enough to produce a groove and, you know, get the ideas of your track all in place. So in day 4 we'll then start to arrange. We'll look at sort of a lot of the main concepts when it comes to arranging a track. Following day, intro to effects, so processing audio. Next day, basic sound design. So you know, for a lot of people to think that you'll go from possibly zero knowledge of production to be designing sounds on day 6, I know it's a stretch, but you know, I'm going to show people more. You know, this is what you can do with this synth, and this is how these are the waveforms you get, the sounds they make, how you can shape those sounds into create different patches, and you don't really need a really advanced knowledge of sound design to do some great stuff. You know, a lot of producers, when they're, particularly if they make music with samples, they just bring in a synth to do like a pad or an FX sweep or something. So if you just know the basics of, you know, the waveforms and what they sound like, and the envelopes, say even just amplitude envelope and filter envelope, ideally you can do a ton with that. And although I know it sounds easy to me when I say it, I've been doing it for a long time, you know, amplitude envelope I think you can teach pretty easily. You know, people understanding the volume is something that's quite easy to get your head round. So yeah, they'll be doing ADSR envelope shaping and everything in no time.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fundamental. You're going to see ADSR in so much of what you do. Yeah. It's absolutely fundamental. So it's great to know that you'll be teaching that.
Yeah. And then day 7, we'll wrap things up with a bit of a quiz. The final course you get on day 7 is the music mixing fundamentals course that I've made recently, and it's quite a detailed course. It's for beginners, but obviously mixing is quite a full-on topic, as I'm sure you know. So I won't expect people to watch all of that course by any means. You know, in this week, it'll be more about start watching it, get like a couple of lessons in, just looking at level balancing and the first few steps, and then maybe leave it there and, you know, see how far you go with that, and come back to it later. Certainly the last few courses that you get on the last few days are going to be things I think people will dip into for a bit, along with the live sessions, and they'll take bits of knowledge and use those, and then probably come back to the courses later on when they want to develop that area.
So let me get this. So you're going to do a live stream and then give out sort of course coupon or course access for supplementary material in regards to that day of intensive work?
Yeah, so each day they'll have all the courses added to their account shortly from the
beginning,
from the get-go.
Yeah.
And then each day we'll say, this is the course for you to focus on. So we'll just guide people towards each course. And the good thing about the event, obviously, although it's all live, all those courses are in their account forever. So it's, you know, 20 hours or whatever of very structured. All these core courses are very structured courses. They're not, don't want to talk down on some of the stuff you get on YouTube. There's some, you know, high quality stuff there, but generally they don't do a lot of work into the structure and the formulation kind of the courses, and
off the cuff.
Yeah. And
figuring it out as you go. I've seen those.
Yeah. And this stuff also comes with supporting materials, of course. So you got, some of them, a lot of supporting materials, like mini quizzes within there, all the software projects.
So you said there, actually, speaking of quizzes, you said there's going to be a quiz at the end of this intensive course.
Yeah, that's right. So there's a quiz day 7. just to sort of have a bit of fun on the last day, see if you've been paying attention. And then for the next, well, we haven't set a sort of fixed deadline, but you can then create a track and then send the track to us, and then it'll be reviewed and you'll get some feedback. And then within a week of sending it to us, for sure you'll get some feedback with a recommended learning path of where you might like to go next. So the weak spots, the bits you might want to develop.
Oh,
work on.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Good.
So I've got let me check chat here. Chat.
I haven't looked in the chat at all. Is anyone?
Yeah, let's look, because does everybody have a good idea of what we're talking about here?
I don't think we've even got any of my Producertech people. I can see some members in there. Some of my members are in there. Maybe they've.
I see Laser M.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that from some of our LA Winter.
LA Winter's actually, they were a remix comp winner, I seem to remember, from some time ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
there's people answering questions anyway. Thanks for that. That's great.
Yeah, someone's asking, like, how many hours are you looking at per day?
So between 1 and 2 hours, but some days it might be 3. So that's the live sessions. So
right.
So depending on if we have an artist Q&A, it's definitely going to be like 2 hours plus. We'll have breaks as well, so it's not going to be the whole way through. It'll be like I'm going to probably break it up into 45-minute chunks or something, so people don't go mad. Just
sort
give
of an intermission.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, some days it might go up to 3 hours. Certainly the first day is going to be meatier because there's quite a lot to cover there. But we won't be doing a Q&A that day because it's day one, or not one on the previous day.
Right.
So that's the live sessions, and then like I said, the pre-recorded courses range from 1 to I think 5 or 6 for the longest ones. But like I said, they're more the ones at the end that you're not supposed to get through entirely. It's more about developing your mixing skills later on. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Rob, I think if you want to go ahead and jump into your demo, I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, great. Let's do it, and then we can come back with all these fantastic giveaways and an exclusive offer on Producertech Intensive events.
Dun, da, da, da.
All right.
See you in a bit.
Nice one, Josh. See you in a bit. All right, let's get rid of that. So, what am I doing then? So, I've got a project here, and as a starting point, I've got quite a lot to get through, so I'm going to try and sort of whiz through the first bit, which, if you are a beginner, don't think, hopefully you won't be like, the event's going to be like this. They won't be like this fully, because we'll do things a lot more slowly. But what I wanted to sort of aim to show you with this particular demo is, like I said at the start, so how you can kind of build up arrangements fairly quickly and easily. Because a lot of the stuff I tend to do in a demo or various other bits tend to be sort of getting your first groove going or getting your main loop going without then developing it further. So I've got a project here, and I've added Loopcloud drum to it. And this is actually a preset. It's the house expansion pack, and it's the drums only preset. So it's playing a really nice kind of pattern here. Very simple, little clap fill at the end of 2 bars and then a bigger fill at the end of 4 there. And all of this is happening down in the sequencer section. But one of the cool things you can actually do, and this is why I use Loopcloud drum for this, is once you just call up this preset in a project, you can then just come in, click on the kit generator. If you want to, you can go into the refined search and lock it to a genre like house. And then you can click on generate here, and it will just randomize the drums. You get the idea. You can just keep going on for as long as you like. Quite like that one actually, but that's my taste. That's quite nice. If you want to just change one sound, by the way, you can just come in and use the arrows here. So yeah, really, really quick and easy to scroll through sounds. And if you've got the expansion pack, you'll have a ton of different sounds to scroll through there. So yeah. That's quite techno-y. Maybe we should go for that. Come back to it later. I'm going to keep playing until I get the one I really like. Anyway, so you get the idea. That's how you can quickly come in and choose the right sounds. I've also routed them out to their own tracks here. We won't look at that now, but it's just a quick thing you can do to get full control. So I've got my drums in place. Now I'm going to go over to Loopcloud then, right here, and I'm going to show you how we can get going to add top loops. So I'm searching for top, and you can see I'm just typing into the search box and then clicking on the tag that comes up. It's the way I do it. And we can also narrow it down to a genre if we want to make some bass house. So I quite like these ones that have a bit of a break in the middle, so they're not too full on. And of course, we can preview this along with our beats here. And one of the cool things you can do here is you can actually search by specific frequencies. So you can pull down this if you want to search for lower pitch stuff. So again, if you're a complete beginner, don't worry too much, but just imagine that, you know, certain drums are lower pitch, quite obviously, things like kick drums and toms and stuff, and then certain drums like cymbals, for example, are much higher pitched. So you can literally filter the results to kind of search for these using this slider here. So let's search now for higher frequency ones as well. Let's add some cymbals. And again, I'm gonna do this quite quickly because I want to get the parts together and then move on to the more of the arranging side. So I'm searching now for higher frequency sounds, and I'm going to also make them rhythmically dense, so they're quite busy sounds, and that's going to give us like fast cymbal patterns. Now, there's quite a lot going on in here, obviously, so it makes it really quick and easy to sort of chop out these. So if I just solo this one. Like, I don't want this one here, so I'm using the scissors tool, which I'm accessing with the Alt key, whoops, to slice those out. You can also do it here. And then And then for this one, I'm going to use a preset, and we'll be looking at more of this shortly, but patterns here are really great for chopping up loops, because if you add sounds into a mix, you often don't want them to be you know, too full on. And there's a lot going on in this one. So for example, I've got a gated preset here, which just chops it up. So it goes from this to this. It's just going to create a much tighter sound and get rid of a lot of the unnecessary sound that we don't want in there. Now if we wanted to add a bass loop, we can just come over here, search for, let's go for bass house. Okay, good to know. Sometimes it is a bit slow when I do these streams. And come over to the filters here and just click on the F here. Let's say we want them to be an F, and then loops, and then bass. Like I said, I'm sorry if you're a beginner or new to Loopcloud and I'm doing this really quickly. Yeah, at the event we will do this all very slowly, and you'll learn how to search for particular sounds and all that. And of course can ask questions as well. So here we can get loads of different bass house loops. Awesome. So obviously that's one way to go. Or of course, another way is to use Loopcloud to sequence a bass line for you. So we could look for bass one-shots. You can also do things like search for one-shots of a certain length. So we can bring the length right down here. Oh yeah, and I want to search in F once again. So I'm going to click on the key again for F. Just going to solo this. Trying to find something a little, let's bring down the length a bit more actually. Oh, might be nice. Okay, that's quite a clean one. So then we can go to the pattern section here and basses and just use one of these patterns, like one of the arpeggios. So they're really good starting points, and it's also very easy to make these yourself. And yeah, once you've got a pattern loaded in, you just click on a different sample. To then sequence it into that particular pattern. So I'm going to sequence it into a slightly varied version of the deep house one. Now there's a sound. There it is. That's the one I was looking for. I was going to find it a slightly easier way, but I'm not allowed to do that yet. So more on that later when I'm allowed. There you go. Sounding good. Now let's look for some melodic loops. So I'm going to now do a search for bass house loops. We're going to go with F because we know the key. We shouldn't need to match the tempo, but that is one thing that you can do if you like. And because they're in F, they should all go with our bass line. You can also remove certain things from the search. So we could remove, but actually let's search for synth rather than removing stuff. But you can, remove all sorts of things from a search. I could have removed bass. So we're searching for all of the different bass house loops apart from bass. If I really like Dabro actually, so I could include Dabro, and then it's just going to narrow it down to that one particular label. yeah, I'm liking that one. That's really good. Sounding good. So let me just show you a really, really cool feature now, which is the AI searching here, which I'm going to access in this case with the dots. It may look slightly different in your version. I have a beta version here. So I can go in AI search and I can find harmonic matches. And then the AI just starts to search for any loops that kind of match with that. And I can narrow it down to things like a pad. I can also do all the things. I can match the tempo. I can narrow it down to a certain genre. So I'm going to search for like a pad here. And you can hear just clicking through those, we get all sorts of like interesting textures and chords that will go with that synth. And they're not necessarily in the same key. This one is, it's in F, but some of the others are in different keys. So the AI is just picking stuff out that is going to sound good with it. And sometimes it's even complex stuff, and you wouldn't believe the combinations this comes up with. So in this next track, I'm gonna go for a vocal. So I'm going to stay on the same the same harmonic matching, and I'm actually going to limit it to house as well. Just see what we get coming up in there.
Music, we love it, yo. House music to the top, 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 to the top.
You can hear just how well it goes with that synth loop. So now we've got quite a few elements, and we've even sort of gone into the pattern section and edited them. But with just 6 tracks here, we've got basically the all the things we need to start laying out the track. To the top, 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 to the top. Wicked. So let's get them out and into live, which you do by changing the export button here to process separate files. Again, don't worry if I'm losing you at this point. We'll come on to all of this in the event. So now we've got the button set to the right mode here. We just click on export, buy any samples if we don't own them already, and then click and then drag out into live, and we're going to drop them onto their own audio tracks here. Oops, to their own audio tracks there we go. So now we've got these bits in. I'm just going to select all the tracks and bring down the level to around sort of -9 or so. And one thing to note, all these are now, because I dragged out the process versions, they're all going to be exactly the right tempo, which isn't such an issue if you're working in live, because live automatically warps things. Although that one, you can see the timing actually changed because it squashed it down to 4 bars there, which wasn't actually right in this case. So if you turn off the warping there, so they're all playing back at their original tempo now, they're all going to be matching the tempo of my project. Again, we'll come onto all of this sort of later on. So I'm going to duplicate them out now, and you can see now we've got our nice little 4-bar break to go with our drums. And I'm just going to really quickly name them. It's good to stay organized. Again, I don't even really get to this point normally in a live stream, and I'm sorry if, like I said, I'm racing through it, but it's going to be important for later. So there you go. So we got our parts all in place now. So what I thought I'd show you now is how you can quickly turn this into an arrangement. How are we doing for time? We're not too bad. So I'm going to come back over to Loopcloud Drum, and I'm going to export the MIDI out of this. What that means is we don't have to use this sequencer, which is playing our kind of preset pattern. We can turn it off. We can go MIDI and then it brings up this little MIDI file, and then we could just drag it over to our Loopcloud drum track. There it is. And now that means the drums are being triggered by this. So you can hear them stopping when we get to that point there. And that means we can quite quickly create a sort of mini arrangement just by duplicating this out. So let's have a little mini breakdown here, and then, whoops, and then carry on with the main groove for like 4 bars there. So that's our sort of intro, breakdown, and then drop. So what we'll do here is we'll very simply just drop out the kick drum, which, as we can hear, is that one there. There's our clap and our hat. So let's just activate those and then drop them out, and then copy that over like that. So that's giving us our like drum backbone here. So I'll just get rid of that so we can see the other parts a bit more. And now we just have to decide what comes in where. So we're going to have our top running through the whole thing. We're going to have these sort of coming in later here, and maybe like running through the breakdown. And we have these coming in here again, and we'll copy them across the whole thing. Our bass line, we don't want to be coming in until the main drop, so that's going to be coming in here. Our synth sound, we're going to have on our main breakdown. You know, if you like, because I'm doing this really quickly, you could place little markers here to make things a bit easier on yourself. Drop, just so you know. Here's the mini breakdown. Here's our drop. So here's our bass line coming in there. That's going to obviously run through the whole bit there. And our vocal, I don't know, maybe we want that coming in the intro, so we have a nice little kind of hook. And then this, and maybe that can come in a bit later on in the drop as well. And this we could use as like a sort of maybe what we call a transition effect, which is something that helps build into the end of a section and then like drop into the following one. So we're going to have that here, maybe rising up into it. And we'll have another one here as well. So it kind of keeps us going through this breakdown. And yeah, and the synth needs to keep going here as well. So I think that's basically all of the parts very quickly laid out. And obviously I'm not expecting you to remember what the hell's going on here. And I would have probably been playing things as we go and dropping them all in, doing it all much more slowly. But hopefully you can see how quickly and easy it is once you've got the components to very quickly just move them around, and with very simple editing techniques get the foundations of your track laid out. So let's just have a listen through some of that. So we got the intro here. And then we have this part coming in here. Also we have the vocal coming in halfway through. So it's starting to get a few of the, the parts going. Maybe we want those to continue. Maybe we want that to come in a bit later on here, and then duplicate that across. So it's very rough, but you can hear we've got some of the main elements in place. So what I really wanted to show you now, very quickly, because we don't have masses of time, is just how not only can Loopcloud help you get those elements in place initially, but it can help you get one stage on from that by quickly giving you tools that you can use to improve and embellish the arrangement, even without any knowledge of effects. So we're going to show 2 examples of that. Firstly, we're just going to look at the synth here. So yeah, we'll come back over to Loopcloud now. We'll go to our synth part here. We'll come back over to the pattern section, and now you can just go to town, really, going into all of these different presets. So these are the ones that come with Loopcloud. There's tons of there. I've made a load. Here's ones with my Loopcloud course. So this is the original, which you've already heard. So if you add a different pattern to it, and this is a pattern that's been makes the loop get chopped up, add different effects to it, and all sorts. So that's quite a nice one. So all you have to do then is just choose process current track. I don't need to drag out any of the other loops now. Click on that and then drag that out into live. And it just gives me another option here for like a fill we could have at the end here. So instead of the main synth part just carrying on, so it's hard to sort of hear that without the other parts, obviously. Now maybe that isn't the best one. Let's maybe go for something just a bit simpler. In this case, I'm going to go for what you call a fake delay. Like maybe this one. Or maybe the pitched one. That's quite nice. That's going to be a good way of ending the riff. Slightly better example. Maybe just kill all the other parts. So first example there, how you can just create these quick little fills. And if you have a session file like I do that loads up different patterns in each one of the tracks with all your favorite ones, like some of the ones we're looking at right now, you can just drag out the processed separate files to drag out all sorts of new, basically designed sounds based around your loop that are going to save you so much time when it comes to automating and creating these little fills and these little cool bits for your arrangement. I'll show you another example quickly, and it's with the vocal track. I've created an impact. Actually, I did this for a course I've just brought out on Tech House Production Part 2, and it's a 4-bar reverb impact. I just to remind you of the loop, by the way.
To the top, to the top.
So that's the main loop, and then the reverb impact is just the start of it with a load of reverb on. So it's really simple. And this is the kind of thing you would do in your DAW, but it would mean you'd have to move it onto a new track. You'd have to add your reverb. You'd have to bounce it in place. It's just quite a few steps. Whereas if you've got all the samples in Loopcloud here, you can just load up the pattern instantly, processed current track straight out, and there you've got it. And now you've got that reverb hit instantly ready to go. And you can use this in a number of ways. You could use it as an impact, which we're going to do. We're going to use it on the breakdown here. I'm also going to reverse it, which is something you can do entirely in Loopcloud if your music software doesn't support it, by re-importing the sample and opening it up in Loopcloud and going that way. But yeah, in live it's very easy. You just click on the reverse tool here. And yeah, and we're going to use that to sort of build into our main drop. So let's just drag that to there. And for the impact, I think we'll just have it starting a bit later so it doesn't, maybe from there or there. Let's try there. Just so that. That should be good. And then this one. So that should give us a sort of really nice bit of extra definition to our breakdown. Awesome. So that's just the two kind of examples I wanted to show there. And yeah, once again, I fully apologize if you're a total beginner and you found that all way too fast. But hopefully you could just about sort of keep up with what I'm doing and see that I'm not going into anything complex within here. We're just working with audio tracks, apart from obviously Loopcloud drum up here. And we're very simply just laying out the audio. You can see what's going on. It's a very simple way to work. And it's a way that a lot of producers, even very experienced ones, work for that very reason, because you have this sort of most control over it. So anyway, bit of a taster there of the sorts of things we'll be covering on the course and the kind of workflows I'll be showing. But yeah, like I said, much more slowly and interactively, so you can ask questions as we go. So that's the first demo one. It's a much longer than the second one. The second one's going to be nice and quick. But I'll bring back Josh now. Hey man.
Rob.
Yeah.
It's a banger. It's going to be a banger.
Thanks. Yeah.
Do you pre-planned the sort of search you were going to do, or is that that was just 100% off the cuff?
Well, it always randomizes. So and I don't get the searches exactly the same. What I do is for a demo like that, so it's not too much just everyone watching me just scroll for hours. I have a rough plan of what I'm going to do. It's also just in case I randomly lose my train of thought. But yeah, I have a rough plan of what I'm doing there, and then most of it is leaving it all to chance and just seeing what the randomizing of Loopcloud comes up with. So yeah.
Well, it's going to be a banger. It really is. And I was also it is showing me a recommended video under the stream right now for a Happy remix on, I think, Machina.
Okay.
From Producertech. It's got 700,000 views on it, man. Well
yeah, that was a popular one from back in the day when I had a bit more time to do fun demos and good stuff like that on the channel. And Happy had just come out. I was like, right, I'm going to do a remix on Machine. I was doing a bit more finger drumming at the time. And,
well, Rob, I would be the one to suggest you do a little bit more of that for 700,000 views per video.
Well,
I mean,
I'd love to. That's the fun stuff. They're making the music.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, I was listening. It's a little bit hard because I have to listen to you talk on Skype and in the video, but
confusing.
I was following along, man. And I really, the energy in the track is apparent. So I hope you continue with it. And it's got kind of like a UK house vibe. I feel like it's got that. Yeah, you already know what it is. You knew what you're doing.
Yeah, bassy and awesome. I mean, I love the bass music.
I also want to just bring up, and I'm going to let you jump into your scalar thing. Also, for people who are watching who have just come, we are giving away a copy of Scalar 2 and a annual subscription to Loopcloud for free on the stream. All you need to do is be active in the chat. We're going to pick 2 people at random and give those away at the end of the stream. But I wanted to bring up something that is sort of unrelated, but kind of related. You were just doing some effects. And I have really found that using granular effects on normal effects is just a really great way of getting a better and wider variety and a unique sound out of a crash, for example. So the new Arturia effects plugin, I think it's called Fragments, EFX of Fragments, or Outputs Portal. Just throwing those on your random explosions just gives you such a wide range of unique results. I'm going to make a video for it on the Plugin Boutique channel, but I wanted to give the Producertech family watching right now a sort of a heads up that that's coming. Awesome. I know granular effects are a little bit more advanced, but man, for you and in the Producertech community that are already well developed in the producer game, it's a game changer for effects, especially, I think.
Yeah, I agree. There's another one I've been getting into more. It's Devious Machines Infiltrators, a fun little mangler.
Well, we're all big fans of Devious Machines for obvious reasons. So anything by them is really, really great. Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm excited to see what you do with Scalar now. Are you planning on using Scalar to develop this tune, or are you going to go a whole new route? Or?
We're just gonna. It's a quick tip, really, just a quick intro to it. We're gonna get rid of the pad that's in there, that's providing a chord, and we're gonna show how you can create some chords based on the synth melody that's in there using Scalar.
Oh wow! So you're gonna do like the audio to MIDI?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Perfect, Rob. We'll go ahead and jump into it. I'm excited to watch.
Awesome, man. We'll see you in a sec.
All right.
All right. So back to our project. So we got various parts laid out. Yeah, in case you've only just joined us on the stream, we've got this sort of breakdown section here. What I'm going to do is use Scalar to create some chords instead of our pad. Now, you might find the pad that you have, maybe it's a bit simple. This one is playing a chord. Quite a few notes in there, quite a dissonant sort of feel. And it's not always a guarantee that your 2 melodic sounds are going to like fit together perfectly if they're shifting around a bit. These sound good actually together, but like I said, I'm actually going to lose this, and we're going to replace that with something in Scalar. So what I'm going to do is show you how you can use Scalar to work out a scale initially, and we're going to do that by going to our plugins here, and I'm just going to add Scalar Audio 2 to the project. And there it is. And well, firstly, what is Scalar? Scalar is a tool for either by selecting scales or by selecting one of the other presets like songs or artists, coming up with really awesome chord progression initially, but then expanding that out by creating different melodies and creating bass lines and all sorts of stuff based on your chord progression. So it's a really, really powerful and awesome tool. You don't need masses of music theory knowledge to use it, but the more you have, the easier you're going to find it. So I'm just going to show you the workflow here. So this audio version isn't actually the instrument as such, which is why you can add it to an audio track here. But we're going to use it to, it's being fed this synth audio through it here, and we're going to use it to sort of analyze that to work out the scale. And the way you do that, the first step I would often recommend, by the way, is to bring down the, well, I've got this kind of standard channel strip on my track here, but it allows me to roll off the upper frequencies, as you'll hear. So I'm going to just simplify it a little bit by rolling off the top, and that's just going to help us hear a bit better the notes that are being played. And then I'm going to turn on detect here. I'm going to bring down the threshold a bit just to make sure it catches all the notes, and then I'm just going to let it play. So as it plays, it's coming up with sort of various scales, and it's just trying to work out, what the best one was. And after a while of letting it play there, you can see it's settled on this one, F Phrygian dominant scale, quite exotic. It gives you the adjectives here, so quite a few different flavors. So it's not just a regular kind of minor scale we're dealing with here. And you can also see up on the top here, the different notes in the scale. They're highlighted in blue. And if you if you click on those notes here, you'll be able to play the actual melody that's going on here. So it's based around F. So it's based around those 4 notes there. So, instantly I can just figure out what they are and move forward that way. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to maybe play the chords based around these notes. So you can see the note names coming up at the top there. E flat, F, G flat, and B flat. So we can come down here to the chords, which are the triads in our scale. Again, don't worry too much about what that means right now, but essentially it's the chords as you move up through the scale that are all notes from the scale. So we're going to go with the F, we're going to go with the G flat, the B flat, and then the E flat was the last one. And then what we're going to do is use this voice grouping here to make it sound a bit better. I love the voice grouping. It's totally awesome. It kind of basically, if you know a bit about theory, it inverts the chords it needs to in order to have the notes be closer together throughout the whole phrase. So rather than this chord staying exactly the same shape and just moving up and down, which is a bit boring, the sort of upper or lower notes jump up and down in octaves in order to create a really nice flow. So it's a really awesome thing to just activate. So that was compared to nice, but this is so much better. And you can select one of many different modes here at different octaves with different doubling and all sorts. So that's created the chords that are going to work. They're all going to sit really well with our melody. So Scalar allows us to find out what the scale is, but then also drop in chords that are going to go really well. one thing we need to do next, though, is copy all this over to the other instance of scale in our project, because this is the one we're actually going to use to play it. And the way we do that is to go over to this audio version. We just go to this session within the settings, and then you click on the sync button, and it just copies everything that's going on in this plugin, so the entire state here, over to the other plugin. And if you've got like a ton of different scalers in the project, yeah, it will copy those all across. So it means when you come back over to this one, there we have it. It's loaded up all the same settings. So it means we can now use my keyboard here in the right octave to play those. The way I did that, by the way, was using the bind switch. Again, we'll come more into that on the course. But any chords you have loaded in can now be played by my computer keyboard. So you don't even need a MIDI keyboard for this. And you can play in your phrase. Let's just change up the sound. Let's do simple pulse. Nice. So let's just get that recorded in. Let's unsolo it, hear it with all the other parts. Awesome. So that's our chord phrase added in there. Again, we could use these chords in a similar way to create this kind of riser effect that we had there, or have sort of versions with reverb. That's our chords in place. I thought it'd be fun just to sort of end it with an example of, I'm going to get the timing right, sort of, so it's similar to those ones. I like the way I played them better. I'm going to quantize that, get a legato it so nothing's overlapping, and yeah, that's our sort of tidied up phrase there. The only thing I will do, I'm just going to add a few extra plugins just to help it sit better with the synth there. I'm going to quickly do this. This is definitely getting into more advanced territory at this point, but these are sorts of plugins we will mention on the course, because they are amazing ones for very quickly cleaning up a mix. I'm going to add track spacer. I know we're coming up to the hour mark, so just going to run through this for a few more minutes, and then we'll go straight back to Josh for the giveaway and exclusive offer on the PT Intensive course. So first one's track spacer, and that allows us to select a sidechain source, which means that whenever a particular sound happens, we get some ducking on the chord. And because these are sustained chords, it's just going to sound a lot better if I add this. I'll show you what I mean. You can hear now the levels being turned down. And you can maybe hear also that it's being turned down in the same pattern as the synth part here. But at the moment it's affecting the whole range, so I'm just gonna, this is the kind of thing, by the way, you'll be learning about on day 5 when we look at EQ and frequencies and all that kind of thing. Now you can hear the synth is coming through a lot nicer. That's an effect we're going to be going to, track spacer and just sidechaining in general. I'll introduce that. And the second one I wanted to add is Infiltrator, which I mentioned already. Really cool plugin from Devious Machines. They just allowed us to do a giveaway in a member webinar the other day. Very nice of them. Some of our members got their hands on this. It's a really, really cool plugin. It's a kind of effects processor, allows you to do all sorts of mangling and bits and pieces. I'm just going to choose, I forgot which one it is now. I think it's this one. So I think I'll just go with this first one. And I'm just going to show you a sort of clever trick you can do in live here, which is control various plugin parameters. And the one we're going to be controlling is the mix here, which brings the whole plugins effect kind of in and out, because I thought it'd be really nice to sort of have that mix coming in towards the end of the phrase. So we don't get this kind of rhythmic pattern until the very end. So although I appreciate this is not fully explained, once again, automation we will briefly look at on the course. So you'll learn how to do things like this as well. Nice. I'm just going to very quickly do a little bit of level automation there. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to work on finessing at all. I just wanted to drop those last two effects in there just to show you. We will also be looking at effects processing and using different plugins in your music software. Anyway, I'll leave that there. We'll jump back over to Josh and then we can wrap things up. Josh.
Rob, why were you laughing?
I just randomly laughed. See, I just did it again then. It just happens occasionally.
I thought maybe you saw me checking out these different modes on my camera.
Yeah, that's exactly why I was laughing.
I didn't
I saw
realize
the acid
you
face.
could see me. I thought you were looking at your
No, I could see you just going crazy.
Oh, dude, there's some really cool ones. I mean, this is pretty sweet. I mean, this just takes the stream to a whole nother level.
That's amazing. Wow.
It's so good. It even like it does with the eyebrows.
That's incredible. The face tracking.
And, yeah, this is a good one.
I think that's what I was laughing at. It was either that or the acid face.
I thought I was just doing it for myself.
I think I waved at you,
so
maybe.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry everybody who's watching, but I'm impressed by the technology. Absolutely phenomenal. Thanks for having me on today. I have 10 names written down from the stream, Rob, and why I have 10 is because I want this to be completely random. So I'm going to have you pick two numbers between 1 and 10, and those two people will win Scalar and Loopcloud. So if you're ready,
I am ready.
I'm ready. Maybe you want to talk about the exclusive deal first, though, before we do the giveaway.
Yeah, just before the giveaway then, if you want to sign up for our Producertech Intensive events, where obviously you've got to find the link to the events, which, I mean, it's all over our socials. I'm pretty sure it's linked to from the homepage of Producertech as well, producertech.com. But yeah, if you sign up within the next 24 hours, so click enroll and then on the next page, and you enter the promo code web220. Should I type that into the chat? Type that into the chat myself. So it's web220. That will get you. Let me just also post in the link. I can bring that up quickly here. Here is the
What will
link.
it get me, Rob? What will it get me? You have me on the edge of my seat, bro.
It will give you 20% off the event.
Dun, da, da, da.
Yeah. So
Wonderful.
Yeah, so in the next 24 hours, sign up now, use that code, and 20% off, which is
pretty sweet.
Yeah. So I think that means the whole thing. Bear in mind, this is a hell of a lot. So you get, 7 courses, 7 days of live sessions, feedback after the event, included plugins. You get a big kick. You get special discount coupons on some of the plugins featured in the course. Yeah, I didn't even say.
Yeah, you haven't even talked about that, Rob.
Yeah, you get a nice little package of stuff. You get an extended trial of Loopcloud. I look all glitchy on the.
Yeah, the stream has been kind of chugging along there.
I'm sorry to hear that. Why has that been?
I don't know.
It looks green on my OBS. Sorry about that, guys. If it's been a bit choppy.
The audio's been all right though, which I think is the key
main
component
thing.
here. Yeah,
for sure. It's okay if I'm like.
That's just the way you are naturally.
Yeah, natural body popper.
So continue talking about all this free stuff, man, that I didn't even know about until just now.
Yeah, big kick. Really, really cool plugin. 2 months of Loopcloud. I think we mentioned that at the start, so you get an extra month free. I don't know how it works actually if you're an existing subscriber, maybe you get a coupon. We didn't even discuss that through with the Loopcloud guys, but maybe it's just for new signups. But I need to confirm that with them. And discounts on the plugins that are featured. So you get a special coupon on various things like Scalar. There's going to be a bit of a Scalar focus, so you get discounts on that, plus one or two others, that we'll be showing in the course. Carbon Electra, fat discounts on that as well. It's a plugin boutique synth. That's one of the ones we'll be using for the Sound Design Day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just to everybody who's watching who doesn't already know, Scalar 2 is a game changer. Absolute game changer. No matter your level of music theory background or knowledge, it's a game changer for everybody. So if you don't have it and you do the course, definitely use that opportunity to get a discount on it, because I can't recommend it enough.
Agreed.
So let's give somebody a copy of Scalar right now. What do you say? All right, so we got 10 names, Rob. You picked two numbers. Let's go.
All right. 3 and 7.
All right, now I got 2 winners. Now I got an A and a B. A's gonna get Scalar. Hey, I want this to be 100% random. So let me just make a note here on the notepad. A is gonna get Scalar 2, and B is gonna get the Loopcloud annual subscription for free.
Wowzers. Okay.
I got a coin. I could flip a coin. That might even be. That's like ultimate random, I think.
Totally. You have to show it to us though. Make sure there's two sides.
This is a British pound. So I've got. I think that's the Queen. It's got to be the Queen.
It's a tuppence. It's a halfpenny.
and then a bouquet of flowers. I've never really looked at this, but some flowery stuff on this side. So I'm gonna flip this. Heads is which one? A or B?
A.
Heads is A. And it's the flowery thing.
That's B.
Okay.
No, wait, that's tails.
Yeah. So we got the winners. The winner of Scalar is Sue Smith.
Ooh.
And the winner of the Loopcloud annual subscription is Neville.
Oh.
Nevel.
Great prizes. I'm going to do the hands in the air again. You're going to do hands in the air with me? Get your hands in the air.
Claps.
Get your hands in the air. Just do
shoot, I got to do. Hold on. Can it do 2 though? Hold on. Wait. Can it do 2? Boo. Oh, that's just terrible. I can do this though. So nice. It even moves.
That's nice. Wow, it's winking and all sorts.
It follows what I'm saying, kind of.
Are you winking behind me?
No. Yes, actually, one eye is just closed. The bug has flown into it. But anyway, thanks to everybody who's joined. Thanks to Rob for having me.
Yes, thanks to you for coming onto our channel. First time on the Producertech channel. It's nice.
This is the first time on the Producertech channel. I'm excited to be here. Yeah. I hope to be back soon. I'm excited for your Producertech intensive courses coming out, man. It sounds like a really great idea. Like I said, I think it's a good place for kind of like a boot camp to just jump in and figure out what you need to figure out.
Yep.
And then you can kind of progress from there with all of the wonderful Producertech courses and just YouTube as a whole.
Yep.
So good on you for helping people trying to get started, man.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, I think they're going to be great. I'm excited too.
Nice. All right, well, Rob, what should the winners do? They should contact you? Is there a support at Producertech?
Yep. Hit up support@producertech.com. And
support at Producertech.com. Again, that's Sue Smith and Neville. Sue Smith is the winner of Scalar 2. Neville wins 1-year annual subscription to Loopcloud.
Awesome.
The way we do it when we run giveaways, Rob, just so people on the straight and narrow, is have those 2 people log into their YouTube account and take a screenshot of them logged into it.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, just so we can, we got to kind of
verify the right person. So, yeah, cool. All right. Well, if you guys could do that already, that would be sweet. And then just send that shot already to support at Producertech.com. I'll tell Glenn to expect it. And yeah.
Yeah, and you got, and obviously it's past work hours now, so just we'll get it to you as quickly as possible, but it might be a little bit of a delay. Everybody's gone home already.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thanks again for those prizes as well.
Hey, my pleasure. Anything I can do to help the community grow and thrive.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Feeling the love. Well, thanks again, Josh. Thanks for joining us. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, if you have any other questions about producing intensive events, hit us up, support@producertech.com. And yeah, we can let you know. In the meantime, though, take it easy, everyone. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.